we're back and we're moving into our final conversation for today. If you're just tuning in, of course, we are kickstarting our coverage today as we lead up to the May 8th referendum. Yes or no, Belize decides. And our show is being catered to provide all perspectives, or as many perspectives we should say, as we prepare to make this historic vote. Now, one of the areas that we cannot forget to include is, of course, entertainment and art. We have seen where artists have been included in music, in visuals. There have been art competitions, logo competitions, and today we're going to talk to two artists about their own perspectives on the upcoming referendum, on whether or not to go to the ICJ, and their involvement as well. We're joined by two persons. We have Alex Sanker and Positive Vibes. Good morning and welcome.
Top of the morning.
Yes, thank you for being here. And Alex, clearly we're dressed in some of your artwork here.
Unfortunately, I couldn't fit on the stage, but of course, like you mentioned earlier, I think the duty of artists is to always keep it 100%. Unfortunate, like I always tell people, I actually do this for me. In the process of that, people love my work, welcome aboard. But I refuse and I would never sell out when it comes to the duty of an artist, meaning you have to respect my work. It's like you got a bank, the teller, his job is to cash your check. So at the end of the day, when you look at the example, we're here for the ICJ, I did a lot of very powerful statement piece. I was in Belmopan this weekend.
I know you're going to go in details, but I wanted to put some context into both.
Go right ahead.
Into both of your work. Because the vibes I've seen, you made social commentary on a number of social issues. You are not afraid.
Yeah.
And you will say what you feel in a very, you're dancing and then after a while you realize, but this man is making a very powerful analysis of a situation, whether or not it be female-male relations, whether or not it be the economic problems that we're having, whether it be human rights. In fact, you have the anthem for human rights in this country. And Alex, you've taken on everybody, including Trump. There's nobody that you have not spared in terms of what your views are of them. How risky is that, can I ask separately, to make comment in a small country? I know, Alex, you are already speaking to a little, but how vulnerable do you feel as an artist, and how do you deal with that vulnerability when you're making comments? Because you might take off somebody along the line, and it does affect income, because an artist doesn't live off fanhood.
Right.
So maybe.
Well, for me, you know, I about self-belief, and I believe in the truth. You know what I mean? Although they say the truth hurts, you know, and through my art, I believe that I could knock a lot of doors, you know, where definitely were open, you know, and I just want to actually lead the people in the direction where they need to get led. Through my music, through my art, you know what I mean? In our country, where a lot of corruption that happen, you know what I mean? A lot of people actually they pay for different sort of things. Because right now, that those money, they actually run this right now, you know what I mean? And for me, with my art, I think that I'm more than confident that something could change, you know, because I believe that by talking to somebody, they might not quite get it, but if you sing, like if you say, A, B, C. But if you sing A, B, C, D, E, F, you know what I mean? The kid will get to learn it faster. You know what I mean? So I believe that music holds a mad power.
Yep.
And I willing to go to the extreme with my work.
Well, my point on that is, I remember art is not a necessity. Art is a luxury. I always say the people who have one lot to say would never buy my painting. The people who want a good piece of art for their mansion, their office, whatever, people they don't care about what you got to say because you are being an artist. And it has a lot to do with ignorance. Right? The word ignorance towards anything is a downfall in society, generally speaking. When you talk about an art where speak for itself, I remember I talked earlier, there's a difference between an artist and a painter. So when people go, why painter or bad? I'm not a painter. Painter paint house and paint car, veranda. One artist is more on the creative level. You have to understand, I decided 10 years ago, are you going to be an artist or a painter? Kevin, many of these, I know got a dollar in my pocket 10 years ago, and this is a real. I remember living on West Street. I know shame of my upbringing. I brought up from a very humble family. And my mom always said, listen, if you choose to take one journey take that journey and not look back. And my journey was to let my art speak. I love Belize, brother. I lived foreign for so much years. You said the one with Trump, whatever. Am I lying about that painting or those couple paintings? The truth is not popular in the world these days. It's not. So what you have to do is be real to yourself. Hopefully 50 years from now, and be like, man, Alex Sanker, yeah. That the way I the count pan when my great grandpicnic could come to a museum in Belize and see one piece where actually, this one when they call me if do one piece, I'm in the work on this. This is history. That's how I try to capture history. Every minute we're gone, become history, part of history. So for me, the paint to please people, but I'm going to tell you something, if I did without underline on my pocket, it don't make a difference to me. What I've known is that God give me a talent. We have to remember, even like institutions where they penalize you because of certain painting, you have to realize God gives you a talent to do a job.
Right.
Institution will come and go. You understand what I tell you? And the way the country, this country they run, I don't want to talk about no America, that they got their own problem. Where they talk about Belize, when you have like an institution where have overqualified people to run the institution and pull somebody from God knows where to run it. So my thing is, you cannot be here and not call them out. If you have to do with painting in the music, with a say artist, but when it comes to painting, that's my life.
But I want to, I think what Kevin asked is important because great art is great art no matter what the message.
Exactly.
Period. And you have a choice.
Right.
You could use your musical talents to talk about love.
Exactly.
You could talk about heartbreak. Those are catching. Those are, I think, globally recognized emotions. You can do the same. Belize is blessed with all the challenges, but we have beautiful landscapes, beautiful people. You could choose to do your art in that fashion. But you've made a deliberate choice, I want to believe, as artists, to, and that's where my question is. Is this what Alex Sanker and Positive Vibes think? Or is it that this is what you see in the country that you feel has to be reflected back? You said people don't like the truth. I usually say here, we don't like looking in the mirror. We prefer to look everywhere else but the mirror. Is that what's happening? Or is it from your inner core? This is how you feel and how you think.
I strongly believe when you dream of concepts and get up next man and put it on canvas. Listen, I tell you if you believe in or nothing, but where I believe in there is something bigger than me.
Yeah.
There's a bigger cause for this. I want my daughter and son years to come be like, you know what, regardless of what. I want when the word is utter art, visual art, Alex Sanker. It's not to prove to nobody. It's to know that I was here and I contribute to society and to my country because, like I said, I stayed 19 years. I come back home free will. One spell you hear, oh, my auntie call me and tell me, boy, why didn't deport you? This is not real. So I be like, and listen, I was in Miami last week representing Belize through CNTS, etc. So my thing is, do you recall that? He said, yeah, you're right, you couldn't go back. But this is just to show you the mentality, right?
That you only come back if you're deported.
Right, and it's so sad, like people are going to study abroad and no one come back.
And that's where I want to go, Alex, because, and Positive Vibes, because in talking about the ICJ situation, you two are artists, so that brings its own perspective, but there's a deeper perspective as well. Looking at where you two come from, you are from a beautiful village of San Antonio in Corozal.
There it is. I'm glad you said San Antonio.
San Antonio in Corozal. And you are from down south. Georgetown, down south. So you bring a perspective which is not the Belize City tried and repeated and the rat race of Belize City. How much do you think your moorings, where you come from, influences your view on the ICJ issue and your boldness in being able to state that position?
Well, for me, I grew up there. Actually, believe in what is right. I grew up with my grandma, who actually right the right and wrong the wrong. And for me, actually, one of the reasons why I voice out and I did a song No to the ICJ is I think that the information that's given is rather it is stuff, then it's stuff it power. You know what I mean? For now, that's my decision or no until we could further revamp the situation. I think that the leaders, they need to educate the people in our better sense and stop the divide, because all I see is division. You know what I mean? When it shouldn't be, we have to come together and try to alleviate this problem out, because then it's a national issue. It's not a political this or a blue or a red this. It's a national issue, and George Price said it. You know, we have to put national issues before politics. And as far as I'm concerned, I see these leaders doing otherwise. You know, so for me, personally, I 110% will voice out the way how I feel, where other artists is afraid, you know, because we got a lot of artists here. And look, only me one day as artists and Alex, you know, that is because we are not afraid to defend what we believe in.
So it's your direct belief, because we do know where artists have been commissioned to create music or artwork for a particular position.
For the yes position, I want to be very clear.
And so, well, I'm asking if there's one for the no position as well. So you're saying this comes directly from your belief system.
Right.
Now, I want to take it in a different step, because an artist just thinks differently. In my opinion, the perception of how we consume, whether it's visuals or sounds, there's us and then there's you. When you look at the campaigns that have been out, the effectiveness of it, or if it's not been so effective, you said something key. You said you feel like you're being stuffed with information, and that's actually put you in the opposite end.
With limited time.
Go ahead.
I think I have one. I had a concept to do like that. When I leave boy around the table eat, leave boy have him mouth wide open, and then he feed down a big board spoon bowl this with ABC soup, but the biggest number in it, ICJ. Then he try. I don't think a yes, you know. Don't get me wrong. I am for a yes, but what I have did is educate myself. I think the day after they sign off for going to the referendum, the immediate thing when the government supposed to do is start educating the people. Where I could remember is January that when they all this start.
Yeah.
You cannot, so it feel like you're pushing a corner, and then the Prime Minister said, well, which I gladly say, is that listen, when somebody state their opinion with the ICJ, I don't think they're supposed to be penalized. But unfortunately, that's not the reality. For me, do this ICJ pieces where the judge broke up the ICJ and call it cancelled for a moment. Well, a lot of people don't like this, and when they want to target you.
Yeah. But this seems Alex, like a no.
So this is the injunction?
This looks like a no.
That was a no.
No to the ICJ.
No to the ICJ through the judge. That's very historical.
This is the injunction depicted in art.
Exactly, and that's what I do. Even when you had gun violence, I already do a piece of gun violence. Well, these are the main one. It's telling you basically nobody control my art. The last string where they cut from the puppet master is the one with the paint and the brush.
I have followed you on Facebook, and it in following your threads on Facebook, you seem to be saying no.
Listen, I was saying no, you're totally right, but no, it's a yes. Why? Because I educate myself as an artist. Listen, just like I do a post yesterday, I did this thing where we show certain country, they have this woman who long was supposed to be Mother Africa, and all the rest of the country, China, US, they rape her for years and years. And what we do, I post that up, I get 2 comments. But if I may post up something sexy, whatever, comments can't done. We are focusing on the wrong stuff. And I, as one artist, where I know, I travel a lot. I had the privilege of working with Continental in Houston for 8 years. And I travel south all over the world, because basically I travel for free when you work with the airline. And what I had learned through the process is that if it does not affect you personally, and okay, like I don't. Yes. I don't. At the end of the day, and that's why I choose to make that difference. I think you have to live Belize. Like I always tell people, Belize is a paradise. I don't care what you say. This the paradise. Yes. When you go to other country, you realize that like, wow.
That's not compared to what
we have really problems, but at the end of the day, mark my word,
there is that beauty of flying back into this country. I think that
that's not all negative stuff I do.
But I want to come back to, because this is really our purpose of this segment, which is just getting an artist's reflection on the campaigns and how they've been going, and just how you have weighed in on it as well. So, hearing the messaging that's coming out, just what are your thoughts when you hear all the, I mean, there's some stations that play the yes to the ICJ music all day long. And I'm sure visually you just drive around any part of this country and there are that 90% of the banners that are up are pushing for.
It's basically pushing for, yes. And I think no politician is supposed to may actually state their position, you know. Where I think their duty is to educate the general public. But now it become political. Listen, not sugarcoat nothing. It is politics. It's red and blue. Because what happened, we don't see nothing else but colors now in this country. Yeah. And that's sad. That one lead you to somewhere we don't want to go, because later on you'll find out regardless. And when you watch like...
No, it has me where we are, that painting behind the back.
Exactly. And then when you look on the day when we may actually have our referendum, when you have the president of Guatemala, they tell one teacher in our school, teach your kids them to start draw the map with Belize in there. Brother, you know how disrespectful, I don't know who no catch that. That like somebody punch in your face and go downstairs and be like, boy, Kevin, you alright? But you just punch me in my face, my nose bleed. That's basically what he did. He disrespect our country, right? He physically went there and drawing them up, and they tell the teacher to tell the kids then. So this thing is way, Kevin, I hope history not prove you wrong. Because we know Guatemala general election, they come up right here June. Mm-hmm. So this pushing and pushing and pushing, like I say, I love this country. And at the end of the day, I hope whatever decision the people make, that we not live in regrets for the rest of our life. Yeah. Because if you look at it in general, there's something going on. I don't know that what. The officials, they know that what. But mark my word, there's something going on.
Pass the back.
Well, for me, I agree with what you said, bro. I believe there's something going on beyond what we know, of course, beyond what the media know. You know, there is something heavily going on. And having the other day, I made a view Facebook, and you know, the president, Jimmy Morales, I guess he was here in Belize. The way how the GSU dealing their own Belizean for this money, I mean, if we had reversed the thing and our prime minister going there, would the forces deal with their own for our prime minister like that? That's the question why I ask myself. You know what I mean? And for me right now, Guatemala have the advantage, because then they are claiming all of Belize, but they're going to ICJ to settle for half. So when they have to lose nothing, when we have to lose everything, you know what I mean? So we're in a very, very critical situation with this whole issue here. And for me, I just want it get resolved in a proper manner.
You know, both of you, you are with the people.
Right.
You know, you are in my whole neighborhood, St. Martin's the poorest. That's where I would see you the most. And you are in my second hangout in Kurosawa there, which are very base people, and I think really reflect a sort of no-nonsense Belizean, both areas. You know, you're in San Antonio, you can't talk fool up there. Then they are running out of the village for sure.
Yeah.
And in St. Martin the poorest, you talk the wrong fool and you have no credibility,
yeah,
which is what an artist has. How do you feel the average person, the average Belizean feels by having everything pushed on them, or having this kind of cynicism or this belief that something else to go on? How do you think it will affect them going in and voting?
Emotion.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, vote for the emotion.
Yeah.
And if you really educate your people, then you push this yes. I'm for a yes, let me make it public, but because I had research and educate myself. But at first I was for a no. But when you look at the big picture, like I said, people are vote for the emotion. So at the end of the day, I think it would have been more to educate the country and let them actually vote on their own because of fact. But we need a fact. You can't go write in a book one poem if you not think about what you want to write about or in a flow. The same thing with going to people and be like, you know what? I don't know where they sign here. So here what? Like I'm not like where some of my ministers be like, you know, these are the laws. No, it's not.
For me, that like, you know, watching this painting, that like exactly what I think that happened with this whole issue here. Because then, you know, for inside source, I've heard that political officials have been calling their supporters, their voters, and you know, to secure what yes vote. You know, and it's not giving them the opportunity to say yes or no on their own. You know, so to me, they're like what puppeting, like the same artwork where Alex did. You know what I mean? And to me, very poor. It's very, very poor having to have call your voters and say, hey, I will give you $50 to vote yes, or I will give you $100 to vote yes. You know, and we as Belizean people, because we the do bad or not got that finance for manage, you know, we go in and vote that yesterday because then, hey, we get only 100 or only 50 money wrong.
Now, clearly what I hear from you, and it's so refreshing to hear sometimes, is how critical you are of the system that we function in. And I think what draws people to your artwork and to your music is because you speak with an honesty that many people, whether they don't have the capacity, the strength, the courage to be able to say for themselves. So they'll look at your art piece of a puppet and say, that's how I feel. Or like the one right behind you, I keep on saying, I think that's how a lot of people feel, that continuous political divide, that the people who suffer are not those who are involved in the parties. So when you talk about the issues you see in the system that we function, people will be even more drawn to what you have to say and how you represent it. What are you hearing from your people? What are you seeing that you wish you could get out that art piece today and put in the face of the decision makers and say, this is what the Belizeans feel, think? And the same with music.
Well, Marlene, I think personally, my way is being affected. Because you have people who be like, Alex, I can't wait to see the next piece. So people start catch on.
Yeah.
The thing is, when he said, I know something wrong with the guests. The Minister Castro make it clear on TV, we're going to treat it like an election.
Right.
You understand what I tell you? So, passport hustling, you said this, that's not me. All we had to do something to remind you that, you know what, at the end of the day, this is the way you say, this is the way you do. Why are you penalizing me, you know, like my painting? This is my job. So at the end of the day, if you look at the big picture, like what you said with people are catching on, right? And like your family, you want to do anything for your daughter, eh? I want to do anything for my son and my daughter. My Belize people are my family. You understand what I tell you? So at the end of the day, when you look at the bigger picture, all what I'm doing is trying to educate my daughter and my son, which is Belize, or my Belizean and stuff like that. So my thing is, at the end of the day, if you don't like me because my art, like I tell you earlier in there, that are your baby, you take care of that. My job is done. I apologize for none of my paint. You know why? Everything when they send a message, I do research. And just go out there and bash this one and bash that one. This piece with the judge, that was cancelled. I did a piece of that. That I not lie. You know what I have did there? I had preserved a part of history on canvas. 50 years from now, Kevin, regardless of where God choose otherwise, if I'm here or not, then you realize what was my agenda, and my painting will live on. I will be long gone, then they'll live on. So I know for a fact that what I'm doing right now going to make a difference. Not about the money more, no more. I tell you earlier when I have a funny joke, I say I'm drink Kindle water and eat grass before I sell out. It's very simple. Yeah.
Well, for me, I think that personally we need, I think, a few months of street awareness, you know, because then I haven't been on the street. I'm an artist who actually every day up at the street to sell my work, you know, and I bring out these type of conversation to my supporters and fans. And enough of them say, but I don't worry about that, but I don't care. But then at the end of the day, I educate them and tell them you have to stand for something or foul, you know, or stand for nothing at all. So at the end of the day, I just feel like we need some type of serious type of awareness to make Belizeans know what that level, what is at risk here. You know what I mean? For me, that like what Jad said, not even one piece of grass, nothing. You know what I mean? There for touch because then hey, that for we, you know. And I feel like this Guatemala, the bully weep on a heavy level.
The ICJ education campaign has tried to reach out to artists because, I mean, we had two segments this morning. The first one was we were talking with the guests about the issue that there's a level of distrust, and I think you spoke about it. I don't know if it's on air or off here in terms of people have a distrust for people in authority, right. You know. But the education campaign did reach out to you. There was a song competition.
Yeah.
And
there's been art competitions too.
There've been art competitions.
Was that towards a yes or towards a no?
And that's exactly what I want to.
Because monies have been given to the government for a yes.
And that's exactly what I want to come to get your feelings and feedback on it. So we've had them trying to reach out to the artists, maybe to get them to buy into a yes vote.
Right.
We've had endorsements from a popular vocal artist, Miss Ernestine Carballo,
right.
the soca queen of Belize. We've had endorsement from one of the most respected visual artist in Pen Caetano. Is a
Right.
commercial that he's done.
Yeah, I saw that.
We have an artist who is a political hopeful, who in his constituency has put up political flags up, and who was actually the person behind the concert. How do you feel about the mixing of an agenda to sort of push a yes vote and the use of artisans' integrity to get there?
I think, Kevin,
I'm not making any accusation about the
No, I think
integrity
everybody
of
is.
the artist.
I think on their own opinion.
Right.
Actually, I would not bash no artist. I think we as Belizean, born, bred Belizean, you have an opinion.
Yeah. Yes.
And I don't think nobody, just like what the Prime Minister say, I don't think nobody's supposed to condemn nobody for their personal opinion. So if I say and be like, oh, well, artists don't want to. No, I mean, they're not for their own. All where I know for a fact where I stand, I'm in charge of my house.
Yeah.
Me. So if I go there and try put, we're not like that the agenda within the force, right? But if you want artists make up for his own mind, I think personal,
If they wanna
you know,
get involved.
that's your dory paddle.
So if you're
it's healthy.
commissioned for a yes painting, you would do it because it matches your personal belief, or you would do it as of a no if you were of a no belief.
Like I stated earlier, I'm for a yes because I choose. I was
Yeah.
for no all the way. So at the end of the day, if they commission, if you don't, I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
Because I'll do this on my own. I think the
With
check,
or without being commissioned,
exactly,
yeah.
because I will stay true to myself.
And for you?
Well, I think that music is self-expression,
Yeah.
And for the artists that will say yes, of course, I applaud. I highly applaud the levels. But for me, again, I stick to a no, simply because I believe that we need more time for actually see where to go on and with this whole situation rather than making a harsh decision, because then we have a lot to lose. I mean, nearly whole of my family, they down south, what happened to the people there? You know what I mean? Will they be living under Guatemala's constitution?
Yeah.
Huh?
So it becomes personal.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So for me, they're like, what part of the border were they then? If anything do happen, like so, I just say that Belize too precious for make anybody take hold and make decision for Belize. You know what I mean? Belize is very, very precious. It's off a we land.
So how do you see yourself being, I mean, like, are you going to do more paintings, new songs before the referendum? How do you see yourself being a part of this historic time?
I want to be a part of history.
Yeah.
So my agenda right now is, like I said, I'll paint on the bare fact how I feel, how I see things.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, however it hit people, then like I said, that your baby, but I make sure I do my part. And like I always tell people, I love Belize. I truly do. Like this I'm fighting for this right now. So my point is, I have found the most effective way, which is through my art. I had a customer would tell me, Alex, you have art to speak. He said, you have no idea. I am not going to write this check because I just want something on my wall. I'm writing this because your painting actually tell a story, and I find that out of this world. So that's the way I like the appreciation for the art.
Yeah.
Forget the politics. But let me be me. Let Alex Sanker do Alex Sanker. I may tell him earlier, and I have to say this. You have a couple of years ago when the BTB when they look for a new logo, you couldn't pull 20 Belize artists and say, listen, make we go ahead and get 20 artists one job for design one logo and pick from that. They went outside and get one international and pay them either, I think like $25,000 US, that's $50,000 Belize. We have to come out of this mentality where if it's come abroad, it's better than local.
Yeah.
You know how much people every day be like, I can't believe you're a Belizean. Why what kind of ignorant thing that? Some Belizean don't have talent then.
Yeah, that's true.
So that one mental thing, Kevin, right? Malcolm X said mental enslavement is 1,000 times worse than physical enslavement.
And Alex, that brings me to one of my final questions because we're running out of time.
Of course.
This has been a refreshing conversation.
Yeah.
I wish it could be
I
extended.
know, right? Breakfast.
Sure. It's one of these real conversations that I really do appreciate in my opportunities here. But I actually wanted to swing it to both of you. The Belizean art scene is not just local. We have artists who are not here. We have the artists in the diaspora.
Right.
We have the painters and the artists who are not in the country who bring their work. Miss Hushna is in Trinidad.
Right, yeah. It's a very personal friend of mine there.
And there's something about art that when an issue arises, your ears just raise up. Children go missing, and You know,
Yeah.
I have seen you spend 2 days, things come back. Things happen, and I see on Facebook, easel gone up one time.
One time.
I'm curious, why would you guess that our artists in the diaspora have been a little bit silent? I haven't been hearing anything from the diaspora in terms of the artists in the diaspora. We have Asiatic, we have all these other artists in the diaspora, we have rappers, we have, you know, we have painters all around the country. Although what you do is really unique in terms of, I don't know of any other Belizean artist who has social commentary.
Well, actually
as
none,
art.
and that's fact. You know, like every
Right.
artist tell me, you really take one chance at doing this.
But
So
why do you
now it
think-
become your thing, right?
Yeah, but why do you think that there's been a little bit of, it seems a little bit quieter than normal
Well,
for artists?
For me, I think that majority of the artists there, the way how this situation look and they go right now, it seems very political. You know? And I think personally, artists don't want to get involved in any type of issues there, because then at the end of the day, that kind of, exactly. You know what I mean?
No, that's
It's very hard for
That's
me.
why they call me starving artist, you know.
Hard for me, you know.
That's why they
Actually
call me
hard for
starving.
me, because then, you know, a lot of
That's why you
discrimination
two
I've been
stand up
faced.
for
Right,
your
right.
honesty.
You know what I mean? A
Yeah.
lot of discrimination I've been faced because I voice out the way how I voice out and the way how I believe. But then again, that's how I feel about
And to be
the
very clear,
situation.
you have not been paid to make a song in
No,
relation to
man.
ICJ,
No, man.
none at all.
No. This is how I feel. And I just go voice out where I see and where I live.
Absolutely.
I have an American agriculture show. He see my PC and this is exactly what he know. He said, don't you go to jail for these? Like, I say, where think if I go to jail today for dinner, I know I come out next week with a lie and continue. This is where people know they
Or pay it
get
back
Kevin.
then.
Exactly.
Yeah, true.
Listen, you have to represent something
Exactly.
as an artist. He says it, you know I eat. Cause when I just start to this, no, my painting is sell, you know that, everybody know that, right? I'm good, I'm not doing this for me, Kevin. I'm doing this for the Lee artists who want to approach me. Mr. Why when I work, when I paint all over Albert Street and different area, the picnic, and you could see come from school and no one move. Then you realize this picnic doesn't stand up here because that's on Game Boy or PlayStation 4, because it's the art and we're in the same love. So I want to open doors for them, because if you look at the general picture, the gate is closed. How you gonna get to the door? So like I always say, every door that I kick in, I had to kick it in. Bridge, people say I'm born your bridge. Oh, I'm born bridge. I build my own bridge out of stainless steel. That now I'm born. That's my bridge. I cross that whenever I want.
And what,
but I'm a risk.
And what is the bridge that you're building, and what is the message that you're sending in this ICJ issue? Maybe that's a good way to wind us down.
That people, may Belize people, be educated, and if they're not, if they don't feel they're educated enough, do what the heart says, not what on red, blue, or your representatives say. You have to. Kevin had two power in his universe, negative and positive. I think if you feel positive that day, you go with that. If you feel negative, then just not go none at all. My whole thing is that idea, not do something when you regret for the rest of your life because of somebody or some institution or some political party or individual. Educate yourself.
All right. Gentlemen, thank you for coming in, for having this conversation. It was a great way to close off our day for today.
Thank you.
We're going to go ahead and take that final break now, and when we come back, we'll have our wrap up. Thank you. Too.